When I was 20 years old, I was not even thinking about how I could make this happen. Now that I'm 37 years old, I've quit my job multiple times and I finally have my own business, have my own success. I wish I knew everything I knew now in my 20s, because if I did, man, who knows? And because of that, I also had a vision of what success was. And to me at the time, it was work real hard, work your way up in the corporate ladder, and you can make a lot of money. And I always looked at trying to take my boss's job, right? Like the next manager, that manager's manager, and so forth. And that's all I really envisioned. If I can just make some money, save up, stack, eventually I can become successful. And there's a lot of ways to be successful in this world that I'm sure I'm still not aware of. And that's the beauty of it. There's so many ways to find success, especially in the world we're in today. We have access to social media and so forth. Now, this is not what that video is about. Instead, I want to give you all the advice that I wish I knew in my 20s, because this is something that I think could have changed my life even sooner. Now, keep in mind, this is not in any particular order, but it is all very important. So it's not like do one without the other, it's do it all. Unless you don't care about putting all of the odds in your favor. I want all of the odds in my favor. If you just do one of these things, you're gonna have a little bit increased odds than the other guy who's not doing anything. But if you want to increase the odds in your favor, you must do it all. Now, pursuing money is not for everyone. However, I do believe that there is some type of monetary goal for everyone that they must hit to at least have a peaceful, comfortable life. What that is for you is up to you. For me, that's up to me. So here are the tools. The first idea is that money is a tool. It literally is a tool. Don't view it as scarcity or like it's like something you need. Like, you don't need money. Don't get me wrong. I get it. You need money to cover your basic essentials like food and shelter, but you don't need money. You need food and shelter to survive. But money is a tool. And I know this is going to be kind of like, well, what do you mean? But hear me out for a moment, okay? It's a tool. And the reason I want to drill that down is because you can utilize that tool to create many things, whether it's a business, investments, saving for your future, so that way you can leave your job. Or it could be a tool used that way you can have the best care for any future surgeries or whatever might be coming in the future that you're already planning for, or goals that you're trying to hit. Money is just a tool to help you achieve those goals, right? To accomplish certain things in life. It will not make you happy, because no matter where you are or how much you have, you are still yourself. And if you're not happy with you, you're just not going to be happy. And I mean that, because when I start to find success in different realms, like when I start to have success at my first job and then my corporate job, and then I rose up to there, and when I start to see success and see new levels, reach new highs, new income, I still was the same person. I still was dealing with the same problems, the inner demons, the inner things that bother you. That will never go away until you work on yourself. But money is a tool that you can utilize to build different ideas, to help others. There's many things you can do with it. So just understand it is a tool, okay? It is a tool. And the next thing is, it's not as hard as it sounds. Sure, it does take time. It's gonna take you time to save up money, depending on what you're doing. It does take time to accumulate. It does take time to learn how to use the tool, but it's not hard. It's not impossible. I believe anyone can do it. Sure, we all have different circumstances. I can't put a blind eye to that. My path is going to be harder than some people's paths. Some other people's paths are way harder than my path. But we can't change the path that we're born on. All we can do is start to head towards the direction that we want to go and set goals and strive towards those. So I want you to know it's not hard to accomplish, but it does take time. And if you start doing it in your 20s, then you can get there much faster. Please understand, when I say faster, it doesn't mean a year, okay? You need perspective. This takes time. Don't worry about how long it's going to take you, because once you accomplish it, are you going to complain? When you're in your 50 and you have success, you still can live up to 100 years old, maybe 120, especially with the way medical advancement has been growing and technology. And if you take care of yourself, you can live a healthy, happy life. So understand, this can take time, but The earlier you start, the better chance you have of achieving your goals at a much younger age. Now, it doesn't mean that if you start in your 30s, you can't accomplish in your 30s. Not at all, because you have a lot more understanding. You've learned a lot more. In your 20s, you're still young. You really don't know anything, to be honest. When I was in my 20s, I thought I knew it all. I was in college and I was thinking, this is, I'm going to be the next millionaire. Like, I was thinking that way. You're young, you have all this drive. I want to take my family to the next level. Like, I've always had that drive when I was young. And sure, like, you're just thinking that, but you don't know how you're going to do it. At least I didn't. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew I was going to get a job when I graduate and then try to grow in that job and make those dreams come true. But that is not going to happen. Anyone working for someone cannot achieve those type of goals, but they can find financial success. But again, it all depends on what that means for you. For me, that's to make multiple millions to help my family. Everyone's different, okay? I'm not judging you for your goals. My brother, everyone has different goals. There could be guys and ladies who have goals to just make 70K, 50K, and that's all they need. There's different ways to live this life. So don't let anyone set those goals for you. You got to make sure that whatever the goal is, whatever makes you happy, you determine what that is. Don't let me, don't let some guy on social media, don't let your parents, don't let anyone set those goals. So really understand that. Understand that time is valuable. It's not money. Get that out of your head. Whenever you hear some people say time equals and you think money, that is incorrect. It is more valuable than money, like tremendously more. And you need to understand that. Why is it more valuable than money? Because with time, you can create more money. The more time you have, the more money you can create. This is something that I didn't really understand. And you need to understand what I'm saying. Time is more valuable than money. It is. And maybe it made it easier as time went on in my life. And now that I have my son and I've been really working on my own personal trading as well as my business, all of that has really shown me how much time is worth. It is worth so much. We are only on this planet for a short period of that time. You're going to blink and pretty much people are going to forget about us at some point. And that is morbid, but it is the truth. Eventually, everyone in your circle who knows you will die. And when that happens, it would be as if we were never here for that time. That's how much time we actually have. Now, I don't want you to think like, oh my God, I have no time. I just want to put it in perspective of how valuable your time is here. Now, what you do with that time, you can make it stretch for as long as you'd like, as long as you take care of yourself and you focus on your goals. But I'm just trying to paint the picture of how short of time we actually all have. But at the same time, you have plenty of time to achieve all of your goals. So time is valuable. It's more valuable than money, which means you are valuable, right? Because it's your time, which means you should respect you, respect yourself, respect your time. And then therefore you're starting to think that time is valuable and I should respect my time so that way I can achieve everything I want to achieve. And when you start viewing things like that, you'll start saying no to things that don't help you achieve your goals. And it will help you utilize the time that you have with the most effectiveness. Now, money's not scarcity either. I used to be scared like money comes and goes really fast. And that's probably because of how I grew up. We didn't have a lot of money at the time. And so we couldn't do as much. Now, I had a beautiful childhood. I loved my life. I can't ask for anything more. There's some beautiful memories. My entire family took care of me and I'm so appreciative. But I need you to understand, like, you do not have to be scared that money is hard to find. It is everywhere. And I know that's hard to understand, but it's abundant. If you create something that people want, if you do something that improves your skills, then money will come flowing. If you're constantly trying to grow and make yourself better and make your time more valuable, then what comes? Money is not more valuable than time. Time is more valuable than money. And therefore, you can create more money when you have valuable time. Now, you can also make as much as you want. There is no limit. Like, I know at first my goal was like, I want to make 6 figures. In actuality, I wanted to make 50K first because I was making $28,800 a year at my corporate job. And I was like, let me get to 50K. And then you get to 75K, then 100K. And then like, I want to get to 150. And then I want to get to 2. What I've realized is every time I hit those goals that you start to see higher mountains and you start to see what's possible. And you start to understand that there's levels to this game. Now, thanks be to God, I am at a different level of my life. And I'm so thankful for where I'm at, both financially, spiritually, health-wise, and with my family. Like, I'm constantly thankful for that. By now, you know our show is sponsored by Cobra Trading. I use them every day and for good reason. I love the fast execution and the great customer service. And it's not just me saying this. Both Benzinga and Forbes Advisor awarded Cobra Trading best-in-class ratings in multiple categories for day traders. You can sign up now with the Be the Trader link below, and Cobra will give you free software for a month and 33% off commissions for life. I know you'll be as happy as I am when you trade with Cobra. Now let's get back to the show. What's interesting is it is giving me the ability, also because of my show where I meet all of these other successful traders, that I surround myself with people who've either at my level or way beyond it. And it blows my mind every time I meet a new person who is leaps ahead of me. Some of them are not even traders. Some of them are investors in real estate. Some of them are business owners. It just blows my mind that the sky really is the limit. You choose what you actually want. When I chose to make 50K, I got there. When I chose to make 75, I got there. When I'm 100, 200, 3, so forth, I got there. So pick what you want to strive for, but also have reasonable goals and just have them grow, right? But just understand, you can make as much as you want. Don't let anyone bound you to, like, because your dad or because your family only made XYZ, that only you can make that much as well. That's total bull. Don't get in that box. Now, when I was in my 20s, I had no idea about stocks. So if you are watching this, please just do some type of research. If you don't like stocks, don't get into it. But I didn't even know that that was a possibility for myself. That wasn't in the realm of conversation at the dinner table. It wasn't in the realm of like creating an entrepreneur or a job and doing my own thing. Like, sure, we talked about maybe it'd be nice if we had our own XYZ, but it wasn't like a serious conversation where we dive deep and start talking about how to execute and so forth. Those conversations did not happen, but they will happen in my dinner table. And I will share with my son that there is stocks and that there's a way that you can grow your money and you can compound it over time. And you don't have to go that route. You can do real estate. You can do anything. You can create networking groups. You can literally just create social media, build a presence, and then provide value and grow a following, which can eventually become income. This is what I'm trying to say. There are many ways to do this. Stocks is my favorite way because you're in control, right? No one knows what's going to happen in any avenue of life that you take, but you have more control over your decisions and you are a business owner of one. And if you are interested in stocks, you can check out my full course. The link is in the description below. For the time being, there is an early bird special, but that will be ending soon. Now, if you're 20 right now, here's what you can do to put yourself in success. I'm going to lay out, not in any particular order, everything that I'm going to tell my son, and hopefully I'll learn more over time and I'm going to improve on this list. But this is what I would tell you right now. If you're hitting 20 years old, if you're in your 20s, first thing is save up your first emergency fund right away. That means you want to save up $1,000 as soon as possible. And when you're young, if you can live with someone else, your parents, anyone, and not spend money on bills, do it. Make that happen and save everything. Don't worry about trying to spend money. Don't go out. Just save, save, save. And if you're going to do that, just understand, I mean, sure, you can still go out and have a good time, but save as much as you can. If you can save 100%, save 100%. The higher the percentage, the better. And eventually you want to save up to 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Now, if you're living with someone, you don't know what those are, you can still ask, what's an average living expense? And then calculate what it would be like to live by yourself. Still do that. Now, if you can't afford and you don't have the circumstances where you can stay at home and you have to live by yourself or you choose to, then live below your means. And here's what I mean. I know a lot of people in my neighborhood right now that they are buying. Most people are buying what they can't afford, not below their means. Because when you go shopping for a house, you get pre-approved and they tell you how much you can afford with your current income. But that's if you want to stay where you're at and stay stuck and stay struggling. If you want to grow and live a life of abundance and believe that you can make whatever you want, then you got to play this game smart. And you got to live below your means. And guess what? Let's say you make 50K now. You should live like you make 10K. If you can't, you can only make everything ends meet at 40, then great, stack 10. And then when you make 70, stay like you make 40. When you make 100, stay like you make 40 if you can. That's what I did. And I'm telling you, it will help you dramatically. I was able to pay off $40,000 in school debt on my own. I think it was 2 to 3 years. But the only reason I was able to do that is because I stacked everything aside and I lived like I made nothing for a long time, and I still do. Now, granted, my below my means is different now and it constantly changes, but that's the gift. Now you can not be worried if something happens and you lose it all, you can still survive. That's the thing. I have reserves built up because I still have 1 to 2 years of reserve built up to protect my family, to protect me. And that's how you need to be thinking. Then you can make decisions not based off of fear, but based off of your dreams. You're going to want to also listen to motivation. Now, I know that sounds cheesy, and for those who aren't getting this far in this video, that's your loss, because I know this can help you. Motivation is so important. It's like bathing. You do it every single day. You listen to it every single day, when you're happy, when you're sad, when you're angry, every single day, because eventually you'll start to memorize the motivational speeches that you love. And then you'll start self-talking. You'll start reminding yourself of them, and you'll start talking to yourself. And the most important thing you will ever hear is what you say to yourself. So you'll eventually change that little person in your head who's talking negative about you, who's self-doubting you, to positive. And that is tremendously powerful. Now, you also want to set your goals, literally write them down. Now, I've heard that forever, and I'm guilty. I didn't do that until I got a real job in the corporate world, and I did that and I achieved my goals. And then I left the corporate world and I continued to do that. And then now I'm going even more detailed than what I did in the past of all my goals, because I am trying to reach even bigger goals that I didn't even think was possible for me in the realm of where I'm at currently in my time in my life. I have always believed that God could take me further, and I always believed that I would make it to my biggest goal of my dreams. But I wasn't aware in my 20s that if I write everything down, it's so small to do, but it's such a big change. And when you write down your goals, write down the benefits of those goals when you achieve them, so you can see why you're doing it. And write down the obstacles of what you're going to face, so you know what's coming and how you're going to handle it. Now, I didn't learn this on my own. One of my favorite speakers of all time, and rest in peace, my man, because you've helped change my life in all my stages of my life, because I'll listen to you forever, is Zig Ziglar. So check him out. Highly recommend him. Now, another thing I want to mention is you need to read this book. It changed my life, and that's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Pick up that book. You'll thank me later. Now, you also need to learn to love budgeting. You got to learn to love it. Because if you can learn to budget your own little finances that you have in your 20s, then you can learn how to budget a business. You can learn how to budget your family. You know how to budget for your future. So please learn to love it. You also need to learn how to set a plan and execute the plan. Stick with the plan and don't deviate unless circumstances change and you have to adapt. Understand, you don't change the goal to get there. You change the direction you're going to get there. So if there's an obstacle in your way, you don't just give up. You learn how to move around the obstacle. And speaking of that, you need to pick up the book, The Obstacle is the Way. It's one of my favorites, and it's another one that I think can really help you on this journey. And also know the old saying, you have a plan and then God has a plan. And I can tell you this right now, my plan was not to leave my job and go back 3 times. I thought the first time I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna kill it. No, so you have to be willing to adapt. Gotta adapt, because it's always gonna change. Things are not gonna go as planned. Even though you write your plans and your goals, things are always gonna change. So adapt. Be comfortable with the uncomfortableness of always needing to change. Because again, you don't change the goal, you just change your direction to get there. Now, I do believe it's very important in your 20s to make as much money as you can, still enjoy your life, but really make as much money as you can, because you're young. You can work multiple jobs. You can do multiple things. You can go cut yards like I did and have a job and make extra money on the side by helping people and build your network. It's so important, because in the future, you never know who you met in the past and how that can help you in the future. I'm telling you, it blows my mind how that can happen. But on top of that, you want to set those goals, and the best way to do it is follow. And I don't get any affiliation. I just love this goals program by Zig Ziglar, the goals program. He has like a motivational speech about it. He talks about the importance of it, and he does a great job explaining it. I'm following that program myself. It's great. So that's what I really recommend my son to do. So I'm at least sharing that with you. And finally, if you're going to start spending your money anyway, please try to spend it on yourself, on your self-improvement, on building your knowledge, on growing yourself. Because visualize, you are the most valuable asset on this planet. And you can increase the value of you, your asset, as long as you increase the value and the knowledge and the experience and everything within that asset. As you improve, everything around you gets better. Everything it starts to do gets better. You are the CEO of you, and you are a business, and you can improve yourself, right? So invest in yourself and understand in your 20s, you still can enjoy your life and have plenty of time for all of that. But just as well, have time and make time to invest in your future, to invest in yourself, to save up money so that way you can live the life that you want.